So we've looked at a number of shooters during this video series, some of which ended up really exceeding my expectations, such as the original Gradius here. As it turns out, the game we're looking at today is also a shooter from Konami, and it's also my only other Konami cartridge so far, which is a Twinbee. Cover art alone should tell you that we're in for something a little bit different than your typical spaceship shooter. Like a lot of these games, this began life in the arcades, and at first glance it seems to look a bit like Xevious. Where it stands out, of course, is that the characters and enemies are all cute, or at least weird, and not at all the typical military enemies you usually find in these scrolling shooters. As with Gradius, though, the Famicom version seems to have been pulled off with very few concessions from the original. This game also ended up spawning a number of sort of sequels and adaptations, such as the Tana Twinbee on the PC Engine, and I think in the arcades too. There's Poppin' Twinbee on the SNES, which came out in Europe. And it can really said it was also the inception point for what is typically called the cute-em-up instead of the shoot-em-up. It ended up obviously inspiring shooters that came after, like Namco's Ordyne, or I guess maybe Troubleshooter on the Genesis could probably fit in that category, I think. And it also served as a launching point for like the shooter parody, as seen in Konami's Parodius games, or in Hudson's Star Parodier. But as shooters, end up falling out of favor, so did this style of game. And what was once cute eventually sort of became sexy, and so Parodius sort of morphed into Automedius, or however I pronounce that, sorry, which I think that more or less closed the book on the whole thing, unfortunately. But what's interesting too is that for the most part, this was a series that stayed mostly in Japan. It wasn't until I think it came out on the 3D Classic series that I even played the original Twinbee, and I think it's definitely remained somewhat obscure. So let's rescue this weird little game from obscurity and give it a look right now. All right, here we are, Twinbee. Let's give it a few seconds and the title screen will come up. Konami, 1986. Definitely before Fantasy Zone and some of the other games that could come out in this genre. This was definitely the first to do this sort of weird take on the shoot-'em-up genre. And like I said, the only real time I put into this game before getting this cartridge was the 3DS 3D Classics version of this game. So superficially, this looks a lot like Xevious. You got enemies in the air, and you got stuff on the ground that you shoot bombs at, or literally toss bombs at with your little arms. It's a little hard. Oh man, I gotta pay attention. This is the trouble. This is the thing about playing shooters and talking at the same time. Right. So you'll notice I've been shooting clouds, and that'll make bells appear. Most of the time those bells are worth points, but if you keep shooting them and juggling them, they'll change color and give you like a power-up. In that case, that was speed up. Oh, I missed that one. So there's an interesting scoring system too, where is if you can catch consecutive bells, they'll like double or multiply in value. So it goes from 500 to 1,000. Oh, I needed that power up. That's good. To 5,000. I'm going to speed up again. Almost don't want to be too fast, but this should be good. And this one will be 10,000. So you can imagine the kind of price, the points you can get getting these consecutive bells, getting a lot of points that way. And that's kind of the real hook of this game, more than just the weird setup of this. Oh, I missed that one, so that brings me back to the start. If you let a bell get by you, you're back down to the 500. Yep. But I really got to pay more attention to the enemies and the shots and stuff, because I'm not going to live if I don't. Points are good, but if you don't live, you're not going to get any points after that. So let's just concentrate on getting these enemies dead. Alright, changing music means the boss is coming. I feel like this is a very Fantasy Zone boss. You'll probably see what I mean in a minute once he gets on here. He's not too hard. Like, my goal really is just to get to the second boss if I can. Although the landscape doesn't really start changing significantly until you get to the third area, the third stage. Okay, other than dying once, that was a good run. I'm pretty happy with that score on the first run there. I have to get some... Oh boy, I don't know if getting another speed up is a good idea, given how fast I already am. Oh, I want that, I want that. Yes! Now we're talking. Now we are talking. That was like Gradius. These bamboo shoot turrets. Yeah, so it's just, you probably saw them already, the toilets and the ambulance. I guess my arm's back. If you get hit by bullets, they'll take out your arms before it kills you. So it's like a two-hit thing, it's like a shield. So you lose your arms, you can't shoot bombs anymore. But a ambulance will appear to give you your arms. See, I lost my arms again. So I gotta wait and hope for another ambulance to appear. Even though it doesn't look like an ambulance on the NES version, it just looks like a block. I knew that was gonna happen. Oh, now I'm really slow. And you can see, I started looking at those mountains with the pressure cookers now. It's very Mega Mania. If you used to play Mega Mania on the 2600 by Activision, a lot of the enemies in that kind of have the same sort of non sequitur design, where they just look like tires or pots or bells, you know. I feel like there's some of that spirit in this game, where it's just toilet seats and forks and pressure cookers and knives and just random stuff for no reason. Oh yeah, speed up, there we go. Oh, if I can make it to the second boss, I'll be very happy. I don't even know how many guys I have left right now. Let's just see if I can stay alive. I don't even see anything to bomb. Because I think usually the shot power-ups are gained by hitting the ground targets. Actually, it's kind of neat how the targeting works with the bombing, because you don't have the reticle like Xevious. Instead, it's just sort of auto-target. So if you're within a certain range, it'll automatically target the turret. Otherwise, it's just sort of random, you know, it's just sort of whatever. But if there's a turret in the way somewhere, it'll target it automatically. It's really smart that way. I need power up. Where'd it go? Oh, I must have shot it. The worst thing in the world is having the bell change color and then accidentally shooting it again. Okay, there we go. I really do need more firepower, but I haven't had any luck getting them. Okay, here we are, second boss. This is what I was hoping for. Not that the second boss is particularly special, it was just sort of like a goalpost for me for this run, just to show off the game. Because actually, this guy's pretty darn hard. I don't always have a lot of luck with him unless I'm powered up. And this is not a very... yeah, oof, boy. At least you can shoot those things, whatever they are. They just look... oh, wow, I did it! Nice! Oh, okay. Let's keep this going then. No, I even got two guys still. Let's see if I can get that silver bell. Yeah, power up. Got those extra shots. Alright, so I'll keep this going just a little bit longer, but I mean, the game is, you know, it goes like this, and you can see the background changes a bit. You feel like you're going somewhere. The enemies change, you know, it's a scrolling shooter of the 8-bit genre. Ooh, those darn crabs. They're coming out, the crabs. Yeah, so I think I'll quit for now. We've seen two bosses, we've seen the third area, and it's fun. It's fun. At a basic level, it's fun. I still think, the PC Engine sequel is probably the version, you know, what you really want to play. But this is, for an 8-bit shooter, I think this is actually really well done. Ambulance, ambulance! Oh, I killed myself going to the ambulance, that's not good. So, alright, let's bounce out of this. It's game over. Thanks for watching, and let's get you home. Right, so that was Twinbee. I think it's generally a quality shooter. Definitely worth your time. And even better, if you own a Nintendo Switch, you can check the game out for yourself right now. So thanks so much for watching, and hope I catch you next time. Cheers.